Good afternoon. I thought I'd pop on here real quick and do a little video of something I'm fixing for supper tonight. I kind of got it started here before I thought to make a video, but this is how I do my stewed tomatoes or baked tomatoes, whatever you want to call them. Different people call them different things, but Steve don't even like tomatoes, but he really loves these. This is probably one of his very favorite dishes that I fix. And used to, I would cut up bread, you toast it a little bit so it don't get so slimy, which if you take just loaf, just like plain old white bread, and you put it in stewed tomatoes, it gets really slimy and sloppy, and that's just gross, or it is to me. So one day I had an extra bag of, I had some leftover Texas Toast croutons, which I get these. They're Mrs. Cubison's. There's only one place in our area I can find these, and it's a little hometown IGA type store. But these are called Tender Bite. So they're not as hard as a regular crouton. These are a little bit softer. But what I've done here is I have used this whole entire bag. I sprayed my pan with cooking spray, and I put this whole entire bag in the bottom. You can see all the little square croutons here. And then I took 2 jars of our home canned stewed tomatoes, dumped them in, and basically all these is just like diced canned tomatoes with peppers and onions cut up in them when they were canned. Let's see a little stem. I'll pull him out. And then to this, I'm going to add in, and I'm going to try to be careful here. I think this one is the time. I've already taken the lids off because I couldn't do this one-handed with the lid on, and I didn't get my tripod out. Pound my stuff on the counter and get a little loose. I usually put a little bit of thyme and basil. It's the spices that I'll put in my baked tomato dish or stewed tomatoes, whatever they are. These are my homegrown herbs that I've dried and brought in and put through the spice grinder, aka coffee grinder. That's what I use to grind all my spices. It's a dedicated coffee grinder. I just use it for spices. A little bit of thyme and a little bit of basil. I think that darker one was basil, I'm pretty sure. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of salt. Everything in here's got clumpy. I don't know why. I have to shake everything to get it to moving. Put a little bit of sugar. These probably aren't necessarily very healthy, but they sure do taste good. And they're honestly, that was probably, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon of sugar. Spices, I would go with like a half a teaspoon or so, something like that. Hang on a second, let me grab my salt. Okay, just put a little bit of salt in here. Have y'all seen these salt and pepper shakers on TikTok? I love them. How long they'll last, I don't know, but whatever. And then we'll put some black pepper. Nope, that's the wrong one. Here's the black pepper. My salt one's empty because I use the salt grinder, which I have a pepper grinder too, but okay, we're going to put that all in. Then we're going to get a spoon and stir them up a little bit. Sorry about the bad videoing. I'm just trying to do this without dragging out the tripod. Like I said, it's a really quick thing. We're going to try to get a video out showing the country hams and the bacon. The hams are still hanging right now. He's fixing to, here in a week or so, wrap them in paper, take them down, wrap them in paper, and put them in pillowcases. I ordered new white cotton pillowcases, and then we're going to hang them back up. So they'll hang there for probably the next 9 months, I'd say. Okay, if you don't mind taking a bite of them raw, check them to see if they've got enough sugar. I think these need just a little bit more sugar. Let me get a little bit more. Because I don't know if you've eaten home canned tomatoes, they can be tart. They can be pretty tart. So we're going to add probably another half to a whole tablespoon there. And we're going, I mean, these croutons do mash up some. I mean, you could always put your tomatoes in and your seasonings in them, and then add your croutons last, and might keep them more in, you know, in one piece or whatever. Perfect. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of butter on. Hang on just a minute. Let me do that. Okay. Like I said, I never said these were healthy, so I'm going to take these. I think I'm going to put these in the air fryer tonight because I've got Bible study at 7, so, and my other stuff, I'm just going to set them in here on this rack. And power. Oh, where's bake? There's bake. We're going to kick up the temp on them to about 375. Okay, those are, I'll remove these. Let me tell you, you got one of these air fryers, you better make sure there's nothing close to it. I melted one of my Tupperware containers. It was laying behind it, and I didn't know it had fallen behind it. Don't pay attention to this pantry. It's a hot mess. I got these new containers to have for leftovers. And now I've got to find somewhere to put them. I've got 2 more, I think, in the refrigerator with stuff in them. 1 or 2 more. No, I think I had 5. So I got 1 more in the refrigerator. But, yeah, so I got to find a new spot to put them. And then these things. Okay. So we're going to let these cook for, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes probably. And then they'll be done. Let me show you what we are having. What else we're having. Sorry, that probably made you dizzy. Okay, let me get my lid off. We're having, anybody ever get these little hot dogs? They're like the little Smokies that you get. But I like the little wieners. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they call them. If they call them wieners or... I don't think they're called little hot dogs, but that's what I always get instead of Smokies. Like when you do them at Christmas or whatever. That's the ones that I prefer. I'm going to turn these up a little bit. They're done. I put a little cooking spray in my cast iron. Because this is a fairly new cast iron. And then I put some olive oil in it, and I put my little hot dogs in there first and brown them off. And then I added my potatoes, sliced potatoes and onions, salt and pepper. So, and that's it. That's all we're having for supper tonight. So, give the tomatoes a try and let me know what you think about them. They're kind of an old-fashioned thing, but we like them here, and it's a good way to get in some vegetables. And if you just have regular tomatoes, instead of having stewed tomatoes, or if you don't want to buy stewed tomatoes, you can just add some green pepper and onion fresh into it, and your spices, whatever. But give it a try and let me know what you think. Thanks for coming. Come back and see us. God bless.